The Spider-Man Platinum is normally one of the most fun and easiest platinums you can achieve. However, I don't like an easy platinum, so in this video I've decided to make this platinum a horrible experience by giving Spider-Man Webtile-Dysfunction. This turns some of the easiest sections of the game into a nightmare. Let's quickly go over the rules and let me explain what Webtile-Dysfunction even is. As you can probably tell from the name, Webtile-Dysfunction will stop me from using almost every move that uses webs, which is a lot of moves. So, let's go through everything I can and cannot do. Rule number 1. I cannot use any moves that contain the words web, zip, or swing. Rule number 2. I am able to use any moves if it is necessary to progress with the story, but every time I do, I will be adding 1 to the failure counter. Now that we have the rules out of the way, let's start this platinum journey. Getting into the game, I started a new Game Plus run on the hardest difficulty, Ultimate, to make the challenge even worse. The game starts by introducing us to Peter Parker before throwing him out of a window and presenting us with the first of many banes of this run, tutorials. At this point, I really didn't know what to do, but I was eventually able to just barely hold shift down, which allowed me to break free from the tutorial and get away without a failure. Moving on, I was quickly introduced to the second bane of this run, the traversal. Because I have Webtile-Dysfunction, I cannot do the most enjoyable part of this game, swinging, so I was forced to just run and jump around until I reached the first mission. It didn't take long until I was shoved into yet another tutorial. This time, the tutorial wasn't just on swinging, but instead asked me to web strike and web up enemies. Luckily, I was able to get through it without a failure by perfect dodging immediately after web striking, and using a perfect dodge to avoid webbing this guy up. I murdered a couple of guys by throwing them down a 3-story drop before reaching another bane of this run. The vents. This vent in particular was placed on the ceiling, leaving me no way to enter it without using a web, getting us the first failure of this run. I then fought through some guys and saved a few civilians to reach another vent, but this time I could skip it by riding this wall at a weird angle to get on the same wall as the vent and enter it without using any webs. Moving on, Peter learned how to properly use a door instead of breaking it off its hinges, and we reached the first boss fight of the game. In the first section of the fight, Fisk was a little bitch and hid under a wall. A normal, Webtile-Dysfunctionless man would use 3 webs on each of these turrets and throw them at the glass. Instead, I was able to use 1 impact web on each of these to lower the failure counter from 7 to 3. Entering the fight, we're meant to web up Fisk, web strike him, and finish him off with a beatdown. Almost all of these moves take webs. Luckily, I was able to use perfect dodges to web him up and just walk up to him instead of using a web strike, which makes this one of the only boss fights where I was able to get away without using webs. This netted me the Knocking Down Kingpin trophy. Moving on from Fisk, we went to Peter's job, where Doc Ock, his boss, had an electrogasm. We then met the Jorkerbot 1.0 and an easy puzzle to accommodate it for my size. Then we met up with Yuri and went to stop a break-in where I was put into yet another tutorial on web strikes. This time, they removed my dodge strategy. I tried to avoid using webs, but that resulted in, well, this. And so I was forced to add 2 forced web strikes to the counter. Pete then hopped over to his job where Doc saw him working on his suit, and his first thought was that Pete was Spider-Man's designer and not just, Spider-Man. Anyways, we then moved on to one of Fisk's money laundering businesses to deal with a few thugs by throwing them off a building, but this section did still force me to use an impact web in the tutorial, so let's add another one to the counter. I then met these anime nerds who forced me to use 2 web zips and the Sound of Silence ability to get past them without killing MJ, who honestly kinda deserved to die after forcing me through another one of her stupid missions. How the fuck does that count, bro?
It's just
Tit shot.
a friend. Sure, I
Fuck you looking at, bro? Fuck you looking at, bro? I'm gonna take a picture. We then reached the 4th bane of this run, the chase segment. I spent over half an hour on just the chase part of this fight, and it was a horrible experience.
Oh my god, bro, this is gonna take forever.
In the first phase of the chase, I was eventually able to get it down to just 2 forced web zips and a web strike to take down Shocker, and in the second, I was able to do the same. This added a total of 6 webs to the failure counter. Here I decided to do a quick side mission, and I'm going to add a quick little 4th rule. The current failure counter is very high considering that we just started the challenge, and so I will still be trying my hardest to not use any webs in these side missions, but when I am forced to use webs in side missions, it will not count towards the main failure counter. You might be wondering why I'm not just adding them to the main counter, and it's for one simple reason. If I fail this challenge over 100 times within the main story and DLC, I will be forcing myself to go through the insanely difficult Arkham City Platinum without taking damage. Anyways, let's get back into the mission. In this side mission, I had to track down some guys planning to do a casino heist, and had a forced web zip which, as you can guess, we will not be counting. The next part of the side mission was relatively easy, and I could beat this chase section by just jumping a lot. After the train chase, I got into this annoying car chase, where I used 2 web zips and 2 web strikes, totaling to 5 additional webs. Moving on, Doc showed us some gooner who actually bought the Jorker bot 1.0, and we did one of Harry's missions by jumping through a high school bathroom's vape fumes. Then we had our second encounter with Shocker, which was much more enjoyable than the first.
I just threw some rocks at him and beat him around.
We then raided a shipping yard hoping to find information on those anime nerds from before, and I was forced to use 4 electric webs. After that, we entered another chase section. This one took me about 20 minutes to beat, but I quickly found out that when I equipped the suit mod allowing me to slow time after perfect dodges, it would only slow time for things around me. This, paired with me constantly getting blasted by these dudes' rockets, allowed me to slow time and land on top of the van instead of using a web strike, which saved me from another failure. I then unlocked fast travel, which I will not be using for most of this run, because I enjoyed the agony of running around for minutes at a time to reach the next mission. We then had another forced web zip on a ceiling vent. I did another quick vape cloud mission before I reunited with the Weebs on one of Fisk's construction sites. Fighting with the Weebs was pretty easy, even the inflated one wasn't too difficult to deal with, and I really thought he'd do better with his cool ass helicopter entrance, but the real difficult part of the section came from this helicopter chase. I hate this chase. The main thing I really hated with this helicopter chase was that it would end the second the helicopter was more than a foot away from you, and this section in its entirety took me way over an hour to complete. But after memorizing the helicopter's route and trying at least 30 routes of my own, I was eventually able to catch up to it, but I was forced to use a web strike at the end of the mission. I accidentally skipped a cutscene that I definitely shouldn't have, and then my footage corrupted in the middle of the mission, but don't worry, because I was able to take some pictures for you guys. Moving on, I did 2 of Harry's side missions, which took 15 web usages in the first, and the other was done webless. For some reason, these weebs attacked me when I was busy activating a cell tower, so I unfortunately had to turn them into an art exhibit. After that, I met him, Japanese John. See, while I was fighting this fat dude, John thought it was funny to shoot at me, so I had to teach him a lesson.
Didn't have to end this way, John. If you just walked away.
After John, this area of the game was a bit annoying, with it forcing me to use 4 electric webs and a web zip later on, adding 5 more to the total. Then I jumped some more weebs, fought a freaky weeb dual-wielding whips, and met Silver Sable. She doesn't do much in the main game, but we will be seeing more of her when I do the DLC. I knocked out a weeb base before watching May's dementia kick in, as she cut a carrot 50 times without ever actually cutting it. We were then forced to use a web zip and electric web to reach a puzzle, which led us to use 6 more electric webs, adding 8 to the total. We didn't do this all in vain though, because it did allow us to discover that Lee was Mr. Negative, which we already knew. I mean, just use the negative filter. We worked on the Jokerbot 2.0 a bit more at the lab. Then I met up with the 5th Bane of this run, Howard. I have a deep hatred towards Howard. See, even though I'm not counting side activities towards the main failure counter, I am still trying to minimize how much I use webs in each one of them. And Howard's pigeons are all technically possible to catch without webs. The thing is, it takes forever to catch them. Later in the video, you'll see why Howard's dumbass makes it on the list of banes of this run. I then did an easy side mission with only a couple of non-lethal casualties. I beat this boring MJ mission by tapping guys on their shoulders and going to the opposite side of them. For some reason, MJ wanted to take a selfie. It didn't end well.
Did you just leave your clothes on the kitchen floor?
We went to rescue this guy Standish, and I was forced to use 4 web zips on my way to him in an elevator shaft. We then got a new enemy type, the Sword Weaves, whose combat relies on webbing them up before attacking. They were very annoying to fight without webs. We saved Standish and did another one of Harry's missions. This mission was horrible. It took just over an hour to complete because it was time-based and expected you to zip around. I also kept choking at the end, which lost me a bunch of time, but I was able to get it done weblessly after I just got good. I then did the first of 3 tombstone missions, which started with a pretty easy chase, and after that, an easier fight. I then met the 6th Bane of this run, and hold on, there's too many fucking Banes. Let's get rid of the traversal one and vent one real quick. I then met the 4th Bane of this run, Taskmaster. The Taskmaster challenges alone took up at least 5 hours of my time, and they were so bad that for a few of them I just had to completely break the rules. You'll see what I mean once we get to the collectibles segment of the video. The worst part about Taskmaster is that he doesn't even count towards the punishment. So every time you see me raging at his stupid ass challenges, it doesn't even mean anything towards the punishment, since he's a side mission. I only did his challenges for the video, and they caused me so much pain. So much pain, man. Anyways, after about 45 minutes of attempts, I was able to get this mission down to 9 forced web usages in defusing these 3 bombs he planted, adding to the non-existent side mission counter. Moving on, we went to this Halloween party to find a lizard guy who we thought could help us. He was not very helpful. We then gave severe brain damage to these innocent people who Lee infected. Here we broke into Oscorp Tower to look at Norman Osborn's slideshow, where he just put a page full of dead rats. I don't know why or who the hell he was even gonna present this to. We then did one of Harry's missions, which cost a whole 19 forced electric webs.
Let me be just what I need to buzz. Let me just be what I need to buzz.
They unfortunately made me do another MJ mission, where I again used the shoulder tap method, and we rescued Standish for the second time. After that, I did another side mission, where rubbing up on this weeb caused him to get a little too excited and shoot. The rest of the side mission was pretty easy, other than that. I did another one of Harry's missions without webs, and we went to the lab where we finished the Jorker 2.0. This time better with ball control. Miles punched me and then made me do one of his stupid missions before we met back up with May, whose condition slowly began to worsen. I mean, look at her. She's putting her knife through the cutting board, and is that the same carrot from before? We then entered another stupid chase that took me a little over 45 minutes to do, mainly because of this guy and these cars that kept running me over, but I was able to beat it without using any webs. Moving on from that, we entered this weird hallucination bit. It was relatively easy without webs, just had to punch the cursed spirit of Japanese John and throw a couple weed masks. Spider-Man learned how to fly, Lee got away with the devil's breath, and I moved on to the next mission. In this level, I tried to disarm this bomb.
Yo, these bombs are stupid. How am I meant to know which one to pull, bro? They're the same color.
We took some selfies and died so many times that I had to turn this into a time lapse.
Yes, shit. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Let me be just what I need to buzz. Let me just be what I need to buzz.
Then we moved on to this Lee fight in the subway, which did take 1 web strike to enter. This fight wasn't too hard. It just took a bit of time without using webs, but I was unfortunately forced to use 2 web strikes during Lee's final phase. I did another Harry mission, which took 2 webs before meeting up with Doc, who decided to make the Jorker 3.0, and he wanted it all to himself. I promptly left that place because sharing is caring, and Doc, clearly, did not care. I went to see May to get my mind off Doc's sudden change of heart. Turns out, May's condition had worsened, as I saw her trying to create mustard sandwiches. Why the hell would anyone even think of mustard sandwiches? Then suddenly there was a massive prison outbreak. I went to fight these guys and met Wavy Hands Hardy, before discovering that it wasn't just low-level inmates who had escaped. Electro, Rhino, Scorpion, Vulture, and Mr. Lee were all here. They all jumped me on the roof of the raft before I met the 6. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. It's like Doc. It's like Science Doc. Like Doc the Science. Hold on, he kind of got some ass though. You see that? Doc released the Devil's Breath, then put his mask on afterwards for some reason. We discovered that Devil's Breath had reached May, and due to her pre-existing condition, my guess is that she doesn't have much time left. We met Wavy Hands Hardy's cousin, Shaky Fingers Frank, before I brutally tore his right arm from the rest of his body. I met a prisoner who was... Here we meet these guys, the Sable jetpack things. All they do is zip around like an annoying fruit fly in your room, and then try to shoot paralyzing red things at you. Also very similar to the fruit flies in my room. We eventually make it to this area set up by Electro, where the 6th and final bane of this run is introduced. The generators. These generators take around 6 webs to destroy, and you're only able to destroy them with webs. Luckily I am playing on a New Game Plus run, which means I have access to web impacts, which can get rid of these in only 2 hits, and I have the resupply ability, which gives me access to an unlimited amount of impact webs as long as I'm willing to wait for its extremely long cooldown. Considering there are 5 generators and each generator takes 2 webs, This section added a whole 10 failures to the count. Then we went to Doc's lair, which was actually just a setup to...
I'm about to blow.
It did take 2 forced electric webs though. This then led me to the worst section of the main story. See, in this section, both enemies can fly. There are an insane amount of forced web usages. I need to play the whole section perfectly if I don't want to use extra webs. There's an electric generator that keeps respawning, and worst of all, this entire section doesn't have a single checkpoint, meaning that if I die in the last part of the fight, I have to redo everything from the start. Did he just eat my web? Did that just reset me to the first checkpoint, bro? I hate this challenge so much, I'm actually done this whole video. Moving on from that section, we entered the second worst part of the main game. The Scorpion Hallucination. This part of the game was quite obviously designed for web swinging, and in the later sections of this level, we would meet these things that one-shot me and reset me back to the start. We then had to fight the Scorpion and his 5 clones, which each took an impact web to take down, adding 6 more to the total. Moving on, I crushed some innocents in a side mission. Then we went to do another one of Miles' missions, while tapping every prisoner on the shoulder. I got caught by Rhino a few too many times, but at least I got a few good selfies.
Hey, leave him alone!
Miles was left paralyzed for life after this incident.
We stopped Rhino from killing these guys by throwing a cylinder of cement.
Oh shit, my bad, bro.
I then did this fight against Rhino and Scorpion, which was very easy with the quad damage ability. MJ snuck into Norman's skyscraper.
You telling me none of these guys are gonna snitch on me? I'm not buying it.
I then got jump scared by a
Fucking gingers? Jeez.
and MJ decided that throwing herself off a building was the best idea. MJ was left paralyzed for life after this incident. I then had to fight the Fruit Fly cosplayers while also getting blasted in the back by Weebs before I was allowed to follow Lee into the records building to hopefully stop him from stealing the Devil's Breath antidote. We then had to do the second negative hallucination mission. This led to a fight with Lee that was pretty hard in some sections, but I was able to beat it without using any webs. After defeating Lee, we retrieved the antidote before getting absolutely bodied by Doc. With Pete bleeding out on the floor, Doc took the cure, and Osborne. They dragged Pete to the feast shelter, and we discovered that May's condition was getting even worse. MJ then accidentally dropped off a weird looking spider that bit Miles.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
Now we entered the final mission of the game. Peter covered more than just his face and balls for the first time, and we went to take down Doc Ock. This was one of the most difficult and hardest fights in the game, and it may be worse than that fight with Electro and Vulture. Much like other fights in this game, there were no checkpoints. And to make it even worse, this fight had about 6 phases, at least on ultimate difficulty. For the first phase, you have to web up Doc and do a beatdown. Then in the second, you need to swing around and web strike Doc into a beatdown. Then you need to repeat these 2 phases a total of 3 times to get done with the first half of the boss fight. My strategy for the first phase was to just stay in the Goldilocks zone, where Ock would do the same 2 attacks, and with consistent perfect dodges, I was able to web him up and do a beatdown to get to the second phase. For the second phase, I discovered that if you go off the building in this location, Spider-Man will keep zipping up, and after hitting Ock with 5 throwables, I am able to finish him off with a single web strike. Repeating this strategy in all 6 stages added 3 to the counter, but allowed me to reach the second half of the fight. Kill that boy! Kill that boy! Kill!
Peter! Peter!
We got back to May with the cure, but it was too late.
You're gonna be okay, ma'am. I've got the cure right here.
Take off your mask.
Dude, like, I'm not even crying. Like,
I want to see.
it's my allergy.
We have to move on to Act 2. In Act 2 of the video, I'm going to be doing all of the DLC missions, all of the mainline collectibles, which include the Taskmaster challenges, Harry's missions, and other side missions, and lastly, I will be doing all of the DLC collectibles, including the dreaded Screwball missions, to finally get this Platinum Trophy. Once we get the Platinum Trophy, I'll tally up all of the webs I have used throughout the main missions and DLC,
To see if I have to do the Arkham City Platinum Challenge.
Starting off, this is what my map looked like with all of these collectibles to be collected. I wanted to get all of Harry's missions out of the way first, so I started working on that. In the first of Harry's missions, I investigated these dead fish where I needed to dive from a tall building and then swing to get the cure. Luckily, just like the first tutorial, I could hold shift down for a millisecond and it would count. This next mission was made to be played without swinging, and it let me blow stuff up, so it was also pretty easy. In this mission, I just had to track down a lost spider bot with the spider bot. Spider bots don't use webs, so I got this one out of the way relatively quickly. Then I had to do this mission, which didn't let me use my charge jump, and without webs, I was just swimming. Here I solved some puzzles, threw some cement bags, and was forced to use a single web to block this vent. I followed a few pigeons, sprayed chemicals on civilians, met some weird dudes just standing in the middle of a playground, and finished the mission. Then for this mission, I had to use 8 webs to patch these water towers on a time limit. Then I unclogged a drain to keep the water pressure low and moved on. Here I did one of the most annoying of Harry's missions where I needed to stay out of these kill zones or else. After a bit of trial and error, I did get through this without webs. Moving on to Harry's final mission, I had to go to every research station without getting struck by lightning. I kept dying, so I put on the most conductive suit I could find. It did not work. This death actually sent me back like 15 minutes, but after a little bit of time, I was able to make it to the end and connect the final network tower. This completed all of Harry's missions. I then decided to take out Howard's pigeons. I mean that literally. These pigeon missions were more tedious than difficult because unlike other chase segments, the pigeons don't disappear when you're too far away. And as long as they're on your screen, they can be miles away. My strategy was to follow the pigeons around using webs to map out its route. Then I would reload the checkpoint so the webs didn't count and hop over to the area where it would be easiest to catch the pigeon. And then I just waited for them to fly by me. I did this strategy on all the leftover pigeons and surprisingly got it done in just over an hour and a half. Now we move on to the hardest part of the collectible grind. Taskmaster. Taskmaster has 4 types of missions: the drone chase, bombs, combat, and stealth. Let's get the obvious ones out of the way. Combat. The combat doesn't change too much with Webtile-Dysfunction, and these missions were pretty easy. Now we get into the truly difficult part of Taskmaster. Starting off with the bomb missions, in these you have to run after some bombs and use 3 webs on each bomb to defuse them. These were less difficult and more just forced me to use a lot of webs. Now we get into... I'm gonna be honest with you, these drone missions don't even begin to be possible. In these missions, you have to follow a drone around and swing through these blue orbs it leaves behind it on a very tight time limit. The worst part about these Taskmaster challenges is that I need to get at least Spectacular on all of them. There is just no way to get a single one of these drone missions done on Spectacular without webs. So I unfortunately had to do a bit of rule bending. For these drone missions, instead of a no web challenge, I'm just going to do a no swinging challenge on them. But I still like a bit of torture, and no swinging didn't seem like enough. So I will be forcing myself to get ultimate on every drone mission as well. The Taskmaster stealth missions almost made me quit the collectible grind, but I was eventually able to get through them after only 4 hours. The main reason these stealth missions sucked was because I couldn't use web strikes, and I instead had to use my killer moves. This first stealth mission was really hard, mainly because these guys really like to hug each other all day, and they kept catching me right at the end. Eventually I was able to split them up, using the sound of this guy's spine melding into the floor. The next stealth mission was really easy because there was barely anyone here, and I could just pick them off slowly. This is also the same place I met Japanese John. I finished this place off by using the force on this guy, and moved on to the next stealth mission. This stealth mission sucked. I don't know why, but Spider-Man just kept doing random stuff that I swear I did not tell him to do.
Dude, what are you doing? What are...
These guys also caught me right at the end twice, which made me change and relearn my route halfway through. Peter just kept standing there and letting them catch him for some reason, but after about an hour I got through this and moved on to my final Taskmaster challenge. This level almost broke me. See, I had a route that I could follow perfectly and easily beat this level, but for some reason, right before I was about to beat this, the AI just changed. They started acting completely random every attempt. I could not predict what the hell they were gonna do next. This guy caught me like 12 times at the end of my run because there is just no way to catch him when he does this stupid move unless you're using webs. It got so bad that I just quit after a couple hours of attempt. Then when I came back, it somehow got worse. When I finally made it to the end, Peter just let this one guy catch him and didn't let me move. It took just over 3 hours, but I was eventually able to beat the final Taskmaster challenge. But this wasn't the end of Taskmaster. See, on my way to finish off the rest of the side missions, Taskmaster decided to mimic the flies in my room, and he paralyzed me with the red things. This led me to do the Taskmaster boss fight, and I absolutely beat him. Now that we've finished up all the grindy and challenging collectibles, we can move on to the fun part, the side missions. In the first side mission, we stopped some thugs from hacking into Central Park's network, then a pigeon stole the drive. We then had to follow a herd of pigeons and get lucky enough to grab the one that stole the drive. Luckily they followed the same path, and I could easily cut them off to get the drive. Then we did a quick time-based fight segment, first try, before I blew these guys off the building, which ended the first mission. Moving on, we heard about a Spider-Man cosplayer trying to stop crime. I tracked him down and watched him get 3-pieced by 3 dudes.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Let me be just what
I knocked him out with a manhole cover and sued him for identity fraud before going to the next side mission. I didn't know it yet, but this side mission is where we would meet someone even worse than Taskmaster. I am of course talking about
Screwball!
We'll eventually get into why I hate her so much when we start the DLC, but for now, she just left me with a half-baked easy mission. Then I started the second Tombstone mission.
This might be easier if I stay quiet.
Nah.
Hey, you guys are ready for performance? Middle life was beginning.
Here we discovered that Tombstone developed the anti-skincare drug, which immediately gives you ashy skin, but does make you temporarily invincible. These druggies weren't immune to my thick spider thighs, so I put them to sleep on their motorcycles and moved on. We then went to find a missing hard drive on Fisk, killed 2 rocket guys, and finished the mission by slamming this guy so hard into a car that his atoms aligned perfectly, allowing him to clip through a fence. I also discovered Baby's first police cruiser, and stared intimately into this officer's chest.
Same thing.
Who does this guy think he is? Then I could finally end off the side missions with this cinematic Tombstone fight, where I absolutely demolished him.
With all the big things done, I cleared out all the bases.
Collected all the backpacks, and finished up the landmark. This gave me all the trophies for 100%ing the main game. Now, before we move on to the City That Never Sleeps DLC, I went to grab all the miscellaneous trophies I missed, and I did the optional puzzles in the lab. Now with all that out of the way, let's get into the DLC. Starting up the DLC, I had to stop these guys from breaking into an art museum. Here is where I met Black Cat, and
I'm seeing massive growth myself.
Bro, come on, I'm so close, dude. I'm like 5 off. Fucking go.
we discovered that Black Cat was actually working with the Maggia crime family to get a hidden drive in this painting. Then we went to meet up with this detective who wants us to look for hidden artworks or whatever. To be honest, I was just living my lifelong dream of becoming a helicopter the whole time he was talking. I then went to help these cops in a shootout where we met one of the hardest enemies in the game, the minigunner.
That boy looked like that Jordan logo. You see that?
Then we went to investigate Black Cat.
Damn, bro. Oh, shit.
Ooh, I'm an actor, damn fool!
Here.
Can I kill him?
Oh no, not the effects of Webtile-Dysfunction.
It's whipping time.
Please don't make me use a million web.
Still with me?
I could go all night if that's what it takes.
Yeah, I mean, I could go on there with Black.
I grabbed the last of the stolen artworks, which unlocked the side mission for the first part of the DLC.
I need to go deeper. If I'm gonna find him.
During this place, so easy. Just got 9 guys left.
These boots kind of bad. They go in the WFAP fold.
Felicia locked me in a safe and revealed that her son didn't actually exist, and she was just using me to steal the drives from the Maggia family. We found out that the drives had a tracker, and the Maggia family was going to kill Felicia.
Felicia!
I'm about to blow.
After that, I finished the screwball challenges. These challenges need my web gadgets to be beaten, so to actually make them challenging, I only got ultimate score, which was very difficult. After those, I did the basic fighting ones, and moved on to the bomb/drone challenges, which are also not possible, so I just beat them with the same rule sets as the Taskmaster drone challenges, meaning that I could only web zip and was unable to swing, while also having to get ultimate. This got me the trophy for beating all of Screwball's missions in the first DLC. After those, I finished off the first part of the DLC by doing the stolen art side mission, In this side mission, we found out that Detective Mackey wasn't a real detective and was instead Felicia's dad, who was using me to get his stolen art back. We unfortunately had to use 2 web zips on these vents to get in here. Then after a bit of looking around, Yuri and her team got jumped by Hammerhead. I tried to stop them and
I feel like this isn't a good time to be wearing the undie suit.
Man,
Yo, stop, bro. Stop, bro. I don't even think these Hammerhead guys are that bad. Like, they probably just got lost in their dig pod things. Like, we all get... You good, bro? Like, I kind of merged your head into this. Like, you good?
After defusing some bombs, I went to do the screwball mission.
Shooting gallery.
Ah, dude. Bro. Oh my god, snipe. Damn. Okay, really, bro? I'm gonna turn him into a ballerina for that shit.
Y'all niggas is broke. Y'all niggas is bums. Y'all niggas ain't getting no bread. I'm getting all this bread to the bread.
Basketball looking up. Oh my. Look at him trying to hide from me, bro. You see that little guy? Oh, hi, little buddy.
We then learned that everything I just did was actually just a distraction, so I wouldn't be able to save these cops from the Magia. And, I mean, Hammerhead didn't really need to distract me to deal with the cops.
Y'all niggas is broke. Y'all niggas is bum.
Yeah, bro, you good? You good, bro? Like, you don't look... You really don't care. Probably just needs a bit of ice to be honest. Kill that boy. Kill that boy. Kill that... Man, get out of here, bro. Yo, does Spider-Man kill or not? Cause that guy is 100% like fully dead.
Oh yeah. Kablam. Boom. Oh yeah. Light work. Good thing Yuri stepped in. Dude, I probably would have killed him.
Obviously, Hammerhead didn't die from that. Did you forget about this guy who took a whole map? After that, I went to wrap up all the collectibles and turf wars. I started off with this screwball mission that made us use web bombs.
I'm about to rip my...
These stealth missions were easily worse than Taskmasters for so many reasons. These spotlights weren't a bane of the run because they were the bane of my existence.
Wow, you suck, Spidey.
Dude, come on, it's one guy. It's... I'm about to quit this platinum. Next time you see me, I'm not... Oh my god, finally, dude. Man, why'd he turn? He never turned. What the fuck? He just come back to life.
Yeah!
After dealing with Screwball, for the most part, I cleared out the Magi bases and went to the final side mission of the chapter. I thought I would get lucky and catch Screwball here, but unfortunately it was just a side mission with a bunch of enemies to fight. Now with the Turf Wars DLC complete, we can move on to the finale. The Silver Lining DLC begins by telling us about the growing war in the Magia family, along with telling us that Hammerhead is now basically immortal, and that Yuri is missing and presumably attempting to take down the Magia for what they've done.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
My back. Oh, my back. This chicken is cold.
Ow. 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 But who is that random kid, bro? Who are you? Goddess one, nuclear fusion.
Oh, shit.
Holy sh... Wait. Nah, bro, I'm good. What's with all these webs, man? I'm gonna have to do the Arkham City Platinum Trophy.
He's tight with the boss.
Had me at the first 2 words, bro. That boy straight aura, man. You see that? Ooh, shit. I think I broke his back, to be honest.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Damn, they got the tentacle play on here, dude.
We could do a cool transition here. Damn, that's crazy, bro. Who just did that, bro? That's who. Oh, shark got. Ooh, shit. Spider smooth. What, bro? What? Didn't she die?
I'm about to blow.
He kind of looked like that Avatar. Probably what the kids felt like when Stephen Hawking dragged him to the island. Shit, now it's an overused transition. Cool transition. I'd probably let Sable do that to me, to be honest. I'm gonna touch you now, son. I think I just hit you with a barrel.
Before we started the final mission of the game, I wanted to quickly 100% the Silver Lining collectibles. I started off by collecting all of Yuri's tapes she left behind, before finishing all of the bases and moving on to... For Screwball's finale, the game decided to go easy on me and not drag me through her stealth missions. I cleared out all of the combat challenges before doing the gadget level, which obviously needed gadgets. After wrapping that up, we did Yuri's side mission, where it was revealed that she killed a Magia member and kind of turned into an anti-hero. We'll see more of this in the Spider-Man 2 Platinum, which I will be doing if you guys like this video. Moving on, we did the final side mission of the game, and of course, I had to save the best for last. Screwball's mission consisted of chasing her through New York while she forced me to do a variety pack of her challenges. I did have to use webs because she was somehow faster than Black Cat, but after that we could finally lock her up and move on to the final mission. Sable flew me to her carrier, where we worked on her jet, and Hammerhead appeared out of literally nowhere to destroy all of our progress.
Yo, how did he get here? Like, did he swim here? He doesn't have a boat. Yeah, you just gotta act like he's obese and shoot for the knee. Yeah, I forgot this Spider-Man kills. Yeah, he's like fully dead. Why are you so happy? With that mission finished, I only had one trophy left to collect.
Bars. Hey, Uncle Ben. Miss you. Doing my best to make you proud.
Before you click off the video, we have one more thing to do. It's time to see if I was able to finish this platinum with under 100 webs.
And if I will have to do that Arkham City Platinum.
After adding all the webs I used in the main story and DLC, I was left with 109 webs used.
This is editing me. I just finished the Arkham City Platinum, so you guys can actually watch it right now if you want.
I hope you guys like this video. It took me over 3 weeks to make, and this is actually my first time ever posting on YouTube.
So I mean, I guess if you really wanted to watch a video, like another one, you could go to my channel and